how do we practice acceptance along our manifesting journey when we're not actually happy with where we are or what it is we're experiencing in our life right now? This is something I've heard so many different teachers really drill home. It's a requirement, it's crucial if you want to deliberately manifest what it is you prefer, what it is you are wanting. And I got it. Logically, it made sense. From a frequency perspective, my personal frequency and the frequency of the thing or the experience I'm wanting to manifest, they must match. So I got that. But as much as I felt I was doing everything right in terms of making peace with where I am and being grateful and appreciative for the things I already have, I could still feel there was a resistance within me that was not allowing me to really lock in to acceptance where it felt pure. And I got to a point where I thought, okay, I really need to explore this because I'm listening to so many different people say the same thing in terms of practicing acceptance. And I know that it's something I need to do, but I'm not feeling like it's something I have nailed down within myself. And I want to explore, what is it that I'm missing? What is it that I'm not doing or doing that's causing me to feel resistant to this practice of acceptance? What I discovered was, deep down, there was a belief that the more I practice appreciation and acceptance for where I am and what I have right now in my life, that it's putting out a signal. This was my belief, that it's putting out a signal to say she's happy with where she is. She's happy with what she has. She doesn't need any more than what she currently has. Just give her more of the same. So that was my belief. And it was sabotaging the entire practice of acceptance because it was basically saying she's not going to need any more if she practices acceptance. So when I explored this and brought in my own understandings of how frequencies work, it didn't make sense. I thought, okay, this is really good that I've discovered this because this has been a massive rock in my bucket for quite some time now. The idea that if I'm happy with where I am, I'm not going to receive more of what makes me happy. I'm just going to receive more of the same things, where, being fully honest with myself, I'm not satisfied. I'm not fully happy with where I am right now. So I thought I need to work the bugs out of this one because this isn't going to get me where I want to be. It's not going to bridge that gap from where I am to where I want to be. And I know acceptance is the way. So it was quite paradoxical. How do I get from where I am to where I want to be, to make peace with where I am, when I have this rock in my bucket that's saying if you make peace with where you are, you're just going to get more of the same. So here's what's worked for me in terms of finding a solution to practicing acceptance in my daily life. Taking time out to imagine and get into the feeling of the thing it is you're wanting and fill yourself up with that experience. Feel it as fully as you can, to the point that you feel it's already here, you're not missing something. And you feel so satisfied in yourself, you feel so fulfilled in yourself that something shifts in you where you are no longer feeling you're fooling yourself, thinking you're happy with something that you're not. Because that's ultimately what my issue was. When I got really honest with myself, I realized that I'm trying to fool myself to be happy with something that I'm not happy with. And I felt like I was denying myself what it is I'm wanting by forcing myself to say I'm happy with where I am. And that wasn't true. And on a deep level, it wasn't authentic for me. As I practiced this twice a day, getting into the feeling of this thing, the experience that I'm wanting to experience, literally bringing myself into another version of reality, in my imagination, in my feeling state, in my thoughts, and feeling that version of me as real as I could feel it in my body. What happened as I began filling myself up with the experience of this thing already being here, I noticed I was taking the conditions off of it needing to show up in my outside world. And as a result of that, I felt like now I'm not fooling myself. And nothing has changed. The outside was still exactly the same, but I've taken the conditions off it. And this is the thing that I'm wanting to get to. When we take the conditions off of the outside needing to be a certain way and we self-source, we're now in a state of unconditioned, and that is the perfect state for manifestation. Because ultimately, everything that you're wanting to manifest is given to you unconditionally. So its frequency is a frequency that is unconditional. There is nothing more you need to be than what you already are as you were born into this world, to be worthy, to be a receiver of whatever it is you are wanting. It is unconditionally given to you. Its frequency is unconditional. In this practice of taking the conditions off the outside needing to show up and be a certain way, and practicing feeling and using your imagination to experience the thing you're wanting, you are no longer dependent on the outside to be a certain way for you to feel acceptance of where you are, who you are, and what you're experiencing right now. Ultimately, all we are wanting from the thing we're wanting to manifest is the feeling experience of that thing. Really and truly, that's what it is. All the other bells and whistles are great, but ultimately it's the feeling we're after. And that feeling is available to you and it's available to me right now without the condition having to show up. And something you will begin to notice as you practice acceptance in this way is your feeling state will change. That's what I noticed in myself. That resistance was calling me to explore what wasn't feeling pure within me. When you remove that resistance, your feeling state will change. And if you want a sign that your manifestation practice is working, the first piece of evidence and the only piece of evidence that will ever assure you of that is that your feeling state has changed. You feel different. Your happiness is less dependent on conditions outside of yourself. The lines between the 3D reality and the reality you are tuning into within yourself, the lines become blurred and you enter a state of positive expectation for that reality to show up in its highest form. Because now you're not seeing it as missing, as not here. You're open and receptive for it to show up in its perfect timing, in the highest way for you, in its highest form. This has been a massive shift for me in terms of practicing acceptance. So I hope it helps you. Thanks for watching. See ya.